Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Joshua Farah, and I'm the town manager here in Ashland, the center of the universe. Reaching out to you today via this video to solicit your input. We need your help on trying to understand how we should go about spending a little over $8 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds, ARPA for short. So if you hear the acronym, that's what we're talking about. Obviously, this is really exciting news. There's a lot of projects that we're excited to try to implement using the funding, but we need to solicit public input. So a few caveats to that are there are limitations on the funding. The federal government, as you might imagine, has put out a manual that says what we can and can't do with the money, mainly talks in high-level guidance, so not project specific. So if you're interested in finding out more about those limitations before you give us your input, please view our August 3rd, 2021 Town Council meeting. Our town assistant town manager, Matt Rennell, did a great presentation on the limitations of the funding and things that we have to take into consideration as we try to decide how to use that money. But when it comes to actual eligible uses, there are a few, topics I can bring up that are certainly eligible uses. Funding things that would have been cut in prior years. So for capital projects, for example, if in FY21 and 22, we were trying to build a sidewalk or build a road or do something for drainage, but the pandemic reduced our revenue so much that we couldn't put money into that fund, we can use ARPA monies to put it there. So it really is a tool that would allow us to accelerate capital projects. So if there are some of those that you're excited about and you think we should invest in, please tell us that as well. In addition to that funding of cut projects, you can use it to do some quality of life projects. So things like working with nonprofits to improve community health or reduce poverty are eligible under many circumstances, not all. We can also do economic development or business support programs. There are some limitations associated with that. Mainly the types and industries of business that we can support. The federal government has limited us on what we can do that, but either way, supporting business is typically a really good thing. So if that's one of the things that you're interested in, please give us that input and tell us what you might like to do. And then finally, obviously, COVID response. If there are things that we should have been doing that we haven't been, or that you've seen other communities do really successful when it comes to mitigating the impact of COVID or recovering from COVID, please let us know that as well, and we'll take that into consideration. And so those are the topics, but how do you do it? So you're probably seeing this through some form of social media post, whether it be Twitter or Facebook. We have specifically turned off comments for those particular platforms because it's really hard to sift through comments on those platforms and get good input. So we do have in this post a link to a survey, and it's really simple. One question survey with a text box. So you're able to write in there anything you would in a comment window, and it is easier for us to then aggregate the data and review it and then present it to town council as well. So please take the opportunity, that's my main ask today, to participate and submit your requests for using that funding to that survey. In addition to the survey, we have a few other ways that you can go about submitting your input. First, this coming Tuesday, September 7th, the town council will meet at 7 p.m. here in town council chambers, and we're going to be presenting ARPA to them, a few of the ideas that we've already had as town staff, but then also we've been having a lot of conversations with nonprofits throughout not only Ashland, but the region about how we could leverage their already good work and maybe expand it a little bit, capital projects that may want to do. We've talked to the business community, what are their needs, and then individuals as well. So please feel free to either come in person and give your input, email us, and we'll submit that input as though it was part of the public hearing we're holding that night. Or you can watch online via live stream on our website or on Comcast Channel 17. In addition to this coming Tuesday, don't worry if you can't make that. There's additional opportunities. On September 21st, which is a Tuesday as well in September, we'll be holding a public hearing. That public hearing will be for the budget amendment that we need to do to allocate this at $8.1 million. So it's really about the numbers, but we want to hear your input about projects and potential programs as well. So if you can't get your input to us by the 7th, no worries. Please come and let us know by the 21st. Give your input either at the public hearing or via email, call us, whatever works best for you. And please understand, I don't think, and I'm not foolish enough to think that we're going to figure out how to spend over $8 million in just 2 quick meetings. So there will be additional opportunities for input. What I likely see us doing is doing the no-brainer projects early and getting council support on those. But as we hear more and more from the community, we'll have additional meetings to start talking about how to really tie out that entire $8 million and be able to fund as many of the projects as they feel are eligible and meet their goals. And with that in mind, I am actually going to take a moment to read 3 goals that Town Council have come up with, how they're going to review the project. So if you're thinking about submitting something to us, it'd probably be a good idea for you to know what those 3 goals are, because Council is going to use the goals as a prism to look at the projects through. So I'm going to go ahead and read those for you right now. First, focus on one-time large projects or programs or projects or programs with a long-term impact that the town would struggle to accomplish or not be able to accomplish without ARPA. 2, focus on projects and programs already identified by an adopted town plan, including but not limited to the Capital Improvement Program, Parks and Rec Master Plan, and the Transportation Plan. The 3rd goal is use ARPA funds to strategically reduce the expenditure of local tax revenue in the town budget and limit any ongoing costs because of ARPA. So as you can see, those goals aren't project specific. They're not saying do this, do that, but they're giving overarching guidance of what they want to accomplish with the funding. And largely that's making long-term impacts. So do things you wouldn't normally be able to do with this one-time funding. Don't create ongoing expenses for yourself. So I think those are smart, but good for you to know as you submit projects to us. So I've already gone over the schedule. We've talked about what the council's goals are. I'll just reiterate the end. Please fill out the survey. Call us, email us, whatever you think is best for you, but the survey's really easy. Like I said, 1 question, submit it there. If you're willing, there's also fields in there for email and contact information. And if you're willing to put that in there, we'll keep you in the loop as we keep discussing ARPA. So if you aren't able to kind of keep up and watch our meetings, we'll make sure to either send out summaries or make you aware of additional input opportunities as well. So please go ahead and do that. And thanks for taking the time to view the video. Have a great week. Please submit your input via the survey and stay safe. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.